In today's video, I'm going to be shopping at Costco for the first time as a Singaporean, and I'm going to find out how cheap things really are here. I'll be comparing the prices here and understand why Americans love this brand so much and why a concept like this may never work in Singapore. So let's go. Hey everyone, I'm in Los Angeles right now, and today instead of visiting Hollywood or all the other famous LA tourist attractions, one of the first things that I really want to do is to come here to Costco. So when I was working at Google Singapore, I had a lot of American colleagues and they would always rave about how amazing it is to shop in Costco and how shopping in Singapore cannot even compare to an experience like this. So for my viewers from Singapore who are not familiar with the concept of Costco, it's basically a very big supermarket. So like Fairprice or Giant, but when you enter, you immediately realize how much bigger it really is. And straight away, to be honest, I'm already feeling very overwhelmed. Another key difference of this place compared to the supermarkets in Singapore is that this is a membership-only supermarket. So for me to shop here, I needed to sign up for a membership earlier, and it cost $60 US, which is about 80 Singapore dollars. So the logic here is that even though the membership price is not cheap, you can find plenty of deals here, and you can more than make up for the price that you pay through all the cost savings that you have here. So the first thing that we're going to go check out is something that we commonly buy in supermarkets, even in Singapore, and that's milk. So this is really interesting. All the milk is actually in this big refrigerator, and it is like at least like 5 degrees or even colder here, so I'm actually freezing. And I don't know if you can see, there's actually smoke coming out or mist coming out of my mouth because it's this cold. And this is where they put all the milk. So we found the milk, and it is 2 gallons or 7.5 liters, and it costs slightly above $8 US, which is about 10 Singapore dollars. So 10 Singapore dollars for 7 liters, that's actually a very good deal. In Singapore, you probably, for $8, you only probably get like 2 or 3 liters. Apologies, I can't really talk very well right now because this place is really cold. So I'm just gonna get the milk and we're gonna go. So for me to get to the milk earlier, it took me about 5 minutes of walking just to reach the milk section. And straight away, my first impression was that, wow, there's so many options here. And it's not just milk, right? I walked past the cereal aisle earlier and I was just distracted because there's just so many brands of cereal for me to choose. And this is one of the first reasons how big supermarkets like Costco get to make more money from us. By locating daily necessities like milk and bread all over the supermarket, it forces us to walk more in the supermarket, and we're more likely to get distracted and buy something else besides our daily necessity. So I totally got distracted by this croissant because this is like at least 20 of them, and it only costs $7 US, which is about 8 Singapore dollars. So 20 croissant for 8 Singapore dollars. That's really crazy. Okay, so now let's go check out the snacks aisle because I think that US is very famous for some popular snacks like Doritos or Lay's. So let's check out if we can get a good deal there as well. So look at this big bag of Doritos. This is 850 grams and it costs $7 US, which is about 8 or 9 Singapore dollars, and you get 800 grams. And in Singapore, you pay $5 to $6 and you only get 200 grams. So for slightly more, you get 4 times the amount of chips. And just to show you how big this bag is, it is like 4 times the size of my head, and it can almost cover my entire body as well. I think I really got a good deal with this bag of chips because sometimes in Singapore, when I buy potato chips, I actually get very frustrated because I feel like I'm mostly just buying air, where the bag when you open is mostly air and just a little bit of chips. Okay, so if Costco is so popular here in the US, why isn't it available in more countries like Singapore? The first reason I can think of is that Singapore is actually a much smaller country and it's actually not very attractive for a brand like Costco to actually come here. To justify entering a new market, businesses actually need a sizable population, and Singapore just really isn't that big. And that is why in Singapore, we keep seeing the same few big brands like McDonald's or Uniqlo in every mall out there. And in Singapore, to be honest, our houses are also much smaller, So we really don't have the space to buy in bulk and to store for future use, even if we are able to get a better price. The second reason that I can think of is that earlier I mentioned this is a membership-only business model. And I don't think Singaporeans are willing to pay a membership just to buy their groceries. Also, the biggest supermarket in Singapore is Fairprice, and it is owned or at least partially supported by the government. And as the name Fairprice suggests, the Singapore government really wants to provide a fair price for daily necessities for everyone in Singapore, rich or poor. So this concept of paying a membership upfront first is usually the middle class or the upper class who can actually afford it. And this will alienate and neglect the lower income group, which ironically actually are the ones most in need of getting a better deal with their groceries. Okay, so let's go check out alcohol prices here, which I think will be very interesting because in Singapore, we're notorious for having very expensive alcohol. And I think here in the US, it's also very notorious for having very cheap prices for alcohol. Everybody, welcome to alcohol heaven. All of this is alcohol. So this 1.75 liters of Hennessy is only 75 US dollars, which is 100 Singapore dollars. So for 100 Singapore dollars, you get almost 2 liters of Hennessy. Johnnie Walker Black Label is even cheaper. So the same amount, 1.75 liters, goes for only 50 US dollars, which is about 60 something Singapore dollars. So for that price, I think in Singapore, you're only getting less than a liter. So here you're getting double. And for beer, it is $25 for 36 cans, which makes it about 70 cents US dollar per can. The other good thing about shopping here is that they actually show you how each individual item actually costs. So it's easy for you to compare between brands. For example, this Bud Light costs 68 cents per can. And for Stella, it is actually $1.16 each can. So this really helps in price comparison. So I think we can safely say that if Singapore have access to such cheap alcohol, I think our national productivity would dip, but maybe our national happiness level might actually go up. Okay, so I cannot do a video about Costco without visiting their food court because I know that they are really popular and affordable. So I've gotten a pizza, a hot dog, and a drink with unlimited refills for less than 4 US dollars, which is about 5 or 5.50 Singapore dollars. And that's really cheap because in Singapore, I don't even think with $5 I can get a pizza that is the size of my face. So taste-wise, it's alright. It's not the best, but it's not the worst, and it's definitely a good deal for this price. And this is actually another way businesses like Costco keep making their customers return to them. By offering food at a very cheap price, sometimes even making a loss on it, people will come to eat and end up spending more in their actual shop. And in business strategy, this is called a loss leader. So you sell small items at a loss to attract people to come and buy bigger items with bigger margins. In Singapore, a similar example will be IKEA, where they sell cheap food at their Swedish food court and attract you to spend more money in their main store. Okay, that's the end of the video. I'm going to finish up my food and go back there and shop even more and buy way too many things for me to bring back to Singapore and Thailand. If you like this video, do check out my other video of how I live in Thailand but work in Singapore. Till next time, take care.